the end, it looks like a half circle. It has rounded sides on it. And the idea is that a rounded magnet, when the sound waves pass over it, it doesn't distort the sound waves the way a square or a rectangle magnet would. So Hi-Fi Man is pretty much using stealth magnets in I think all their headphones now. It started out with the $6,000 Susvara, worked its way down to the Aria, now to the Edition XS, and I believe all the way down to the 400 SE, which is about $129 headphone. So it's sort of what they refer to as trickle-down technology. Anyway, this headphone has an impedance of 18 ohms and a sensitivity of 92 decibels at 1 watt or 1 milliwatt. And it's not extremely hard to drive, but it's not extremely easy either. It's I actually have to correct a couple things I said in my first impressions video. I'd only had the headphone a couple days at that point, and I did say that it was easier to drive than the Sundara, also from Hi-Fi Man, but over the last 2 months reviewing this headphone, I found out that that's not really the case. It's actually very similar in its power requirements to the Sundara. And the Sundara is known as a headphone that takes a little bit of power to drive. Although in the picture you can see behind me that that's the Hi-Fi Audio, what's the name of that? The HipDAC 2. And it's a small portable unit, fairly inexpensive at $189, and it actually does a pretty good job of driving this headphone. So it doesn't need a crazy amount of power, but it needs a decent amount, more than a phone or something like that's going to put out. So anyway, Hi-Fi Man claims a weight of 405 grams. It came in at 412 on my scale, so we're pretty close there. It does have a detachable cable, and it's about 5 feet long. It's covered with a rubber material, and in fact, this cable I think is exactly the same as the one that comes on the Sundara. You've got your 6.3 millimeter connection at your amp end, which is actually an adapter that comes off and it goes down to 3.5 millimeter. And then at the amp end, you've got your pretty much standard 3.5 millimeter connections, which is, I think all of the Hi-Fi Man headphones are using that now and have been for a while. And anyway, this is about, if I didn't say, it's about 5 feet long. And I mean, it's adequate, but Hi-Fi Man is known, they have sort of a reputation for kind of skimping on the cables. And I think the quality of the wire and all that's good. It's just that, like I said, people just kind of, most people end up trading up on the cables, especially with the more expensive headphones. But it's adequate, it does a job, and the sound quality from the cable is just fine. So, it's more of a, the cable, it's more about looks, it's more about feel, that sort of thing. I don't think that cables make a whole lot of difference. They can make a small difference in sound, but I don't think they make a significant difference. Anyway, let me show you the headphone. And this is the Edition XS. You can see that it has the same shape of ear cups as the Aria does. And in fact, I've got an Aria here. I can show you in comparison. This is the third version, the stealth version, and they're identical in size. The ear cups are identical in shape. They do have different headbands, and they do have different yokes. And the Edition XS has grills that have a silver finish on them, where they're black on the Aria, but you can see they're very similar headphones. And I'm moving a little closer here. You can see this does have, like I said, a different type of headband. It's well padded. It's actually comfortable. It has click adjustments on the yokes. They slide in and out, and I think I'm somewhere in the middle, about the fourth setting, and I think I have a pretty much average size head. The yokes do have a little bit of swivel to them, which is nice, because if they're too solid, it can cause gaps either in front or back of the ear. So these seal up well against the ear, and the yokes are, it's some sort of steel, I guess. I don't know. They might be aluminum. Not sure. They're pretty light, but anyway, if I hold the headphones at the right angle here, you'll be able to see that the ear pads are tapered, thicker in the back, and I believe it's a synthetic leather around the outside, and sort of it's a cloth, not really a felt, but a cloth material inside, but large oval ear cups with plenty of room for your ears. I don't think I've ever felt my ears touch the inside of the ear pads or the grill over the driver at all. Plenty of room. And as you can see, it has your 3.5 millimeter connections on both of the ear cups. As far as comfort, these headphones actually, at 405 grams, that's pretty much average for a full-size headphone. They're not extremely light, but they're not heavy either. But because of the large ear cups, it spreads the pressure out, it spreads the weight out, and they're actually very comfortable. If you've ever tried an Aria, it's one of the most comfortable headphones made. These feel very similar. They're about the same weight. I think they're actually slightly lighter. The only issue I have with comfort with these is I found out that how high you wear these on your ears. I can turn my head a little bit and show you. I'm wearing them pretty low, where my ears are almost up to the top of the ear pads. And the reason I'm doing that is it makes a lot of difference with the sound stage. Raising them up, lowering them can cause a lot of difference in the width and the height of the sound stage. And I found out that I like it better with them down lower. And it's the same thing with the Aria, but what that does is it puts the bottom of these long ear cups down right on my jawline, and that takes some getting used to. I'm not used to feeling headphones way down there. I mean, it's just a really tall headphone, and even with it this low, my ear is not touching the top of the ear pad. But what I found out is if you wear them too high, where your ear is down in this part of the diaphragm here, I tend to and I found this out first with the Aria, I tend to get a sound stage that's narrow and really tall, and a lot of the sounds, it seems like it's coming from above my head, or up. It feels like I'm sitting maybe in the front row of a concert looking up at the stage, and the music's coming from up there. But when I wear them too high, it makes this sound stage real narrow, like I'm in a tall, narrow room. Where if I move them down lower, then the sound stage moves from up here to down where I believe it should be, like at eye level, and it makes it wider. So a lot of people have complained about the new Aria, the stealth version, having a narrow sound stage, and it's definitely not as wide as the V1 or the V2 Aria, but it's really not that bad if you wear the headphones down at a lower level. The vocals are still kind of narrow, but the music, the different instruments and all that actually have decent width to them. And this is kind of the same way. Like I said, if I wear it too high, I get a tall, narrow sound stage, where if I wear it down lower, I get more width and it's more down at eye level. It seems more natural. So anyway, so the comfort, like I said, they're light, the ear pads are soft, they're comfortable, but